Guess number one.
So we're going to do the top five?
We're going to do top five.
Okay, look who brought them in. Jen Donchez from VIP Vacations. So we teased the bed bug story.
Yeah.
That's number 5 on the list?
Right, that's number 5. Yeah. People started to actually realize that it didn't matter where you went. It didn't have to be, you know, a Motel 6.
Yeah,
it could be a very high-end luxury hotel, or even a movie theater, or a dressing room at high-end stores.
Victoria's Secret closed.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty gross. And I have to confess that I now look at every bed where I sleep in a hotel or on a cruise ship or something. I do.
You sleep around a lot, do you?
What are you saying,
At least
Mike?
it's paid for it.
Well, that's true. That's a whole other story.
Joke.
But it did affect the travel industry.
Right. A lot. Well, I mean, and I think a lot of travelers now look.
All right, what is number 4?
The name Steven Slater.
You know this guy. JetBlue.
He did what a lot of people would like to do, say sayonara after they have been sitting on the tarmac, let's
12
say
hours.
after like a Cathay Pacific's flight, and pulled that chute and went sliding down with 2 beers in his hand.
Flight attendant.
I would have thought he
Yeah.
would have been up higher than that.
Yeah.
Just because he was like a hero. I mean, people just love the story over and over and over
Yeah.
Of
again.
course, what he did was dangerous,
Well,
of course,
yeah,
because
with
the
that
chute
being
came out
said,
and all
but
that,
you know, it was funny.
Yeah, it was. Now, some airlines in our area, with hubs in our area, merged this year, too.
Started in January. Delta merged with Northwest, and they became what was at that time the largest airline. And then later on during the year, United and Continental. And then this fall, do you remember the big hoopla over Southwest and AirTran, and people asking, okay, so Southwest, you don't pay for bags, but AirTran you do, and Southwest doesn't have first class, but AirTran has business class, so what does this mean? And we still don't know.
AirTran was it was all business, wasn't it? I mean, they all
AirTran-
had big seats.
AirTran had business seats in the front and then regular coach
Oh, they
class
did?
in the back. And AirTran goes to some international destinations, but Southwest doesn't.
Right.
So that's still in the works, and more news in 2011 about mergers, I'm sure.
Okay.
Number 2 is a good one.
Yeah.
Had people thinking, you know, would you go again? Would you use the same, you know, company again?
The
They were
fire.
stuck out there, stranded.
Right, and it was actually supposed to be fixed and start sailing again that same cruise route in January, and they've postponed it through February now. But a lot of people remember people couldn't eat. They didn't have a lot of food. They were eating canned food of spam. Remember that?
Spam, and then crab meat came in. It was
They had no
Yeah.
running water, no electricity.
And now they were actually offered another complimentary cruise, right?
Right.
And
their
that was
money
the
back and a
conversation of people
complimentary.
saying, would you go again? But, you know,
Yeah.
what are the chances of it happening again?
Yeah.
Yeah, go again.
Hey, your trip was so crummy. You want to do it again?
Right.
Okay, so what was the number 1 travel story of the year?
It was more
no-brainer.
recently than, you know, a lot of people, you didn't have to think hard about it.
Yeah.
It was the TSA's new scanners, and everybody talking about them not being able to touch your junk.
Touch your junk. So you had a choice. Go through the scanner or the pat down.
Right.
Correct. And I think there was, again, a lot of hoopla over this. I've traveled a lot since this has happened, and I didn't even have to go through one of these scanners.
Everybody who's traveled, who we talked to, said, yeah, it wasn't even an issue.
Right?
Well, they're
For
not
them.
in every airport, not in every terminal. I think we
Right.
have one, right? Here in Philadelphia.
Right.
And when it launched, even that was uneventful. I mean, we were thinking about all these protests and stuff were going to happen. It was pretty quiet.
It was like right before Thanksgiving, big
Yeah.
travel time. So.
Yeah, TSA, touch some.
Oh,
Jen,
cut it
good to
out.
see you.
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year.
guys.
Oh, by the way, I have my Mega Millions tickets here. The drawing is tonight. You may win $237 million, and then the new year arrives about an hour later.
And if you have the winning ticket, he says, do what you think is right.
Do what you think is right.
Share.
Aww.
Can I hear a little bit of a commitment of how much you would give me if you win? Because I bought it.
You would get at least 50%.
At least 50%.
Wow, that's really
Absolutely.
generous.
Yeah, well, not from this one.
Generous guy.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
We'll have you on again.